What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Tony Bellew. Get this. Tony Bellew urges Joyce to retire after the latest defeat. Tony Bellew believes it's time for Joyce to retire following his recent loss to Derek Chisora at age 38. Joyce's durability, once his greatest asset, seems to be fading. Bellew shared his concern, saying, "When you're getting dropped in fights, it's time to stop because he's so slow and so predictable." With back-to-back defeats to Zhilei Zhang, Bellew hopes Joyce will step away before risking further harm. And let me counterpunch. Is it time for Joyce to say goodbye to boxing? I don't know. I'm kind of straddled over the fence. It's definitely a good live stream, which we will do today, okay, about Joyce. The poll will be set, and then I will make a poll going live. I mean, Joyce has gave us some good times. You know, he's gave us a lot of ahs and oohs, you know, great performances against, you know, like Christian Hammer and Stavern and other fighters that were pretty durable. Carlos Takam was another. Of course, Joseph Parker, Daniel Dubois. You know, these fights were very, very interesting, you know. But then we did see him up against Zhilei Zhang. You know, I have to remind people, though, he's had 3 losses in the last 2 years, last 24 months, okay? And that being said, you know, there are times when you get damaged in this sport and you're wounded beyond repair. You know, this isn't something that makes you stronger physically. Everything in boxing is designed to tear and break you down, not the opposite. It ain't like you get older, you get bolder, or you get tougher and more petrified. No, boxing is not like that. You know, boxing is, in fact, a type of sport that just eats away at you. When training, conditioning, fighting, training, conditioning, fighting, that process, that cycle is destructive. Okay, it really is. So you need to understand that. And that's with everybody. Anybody with a rock solid chin, like Roberto Duran had a good chin. Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. had a good chin. A lot of fighters had a good chin, you know, whereas a lot of fighters, you know, like Joyce and, you know, and others, eventually they will get in there with someone that can hit them so hard that will break the force field of their durability. You know, their chin. Is Joyce, though, getting to the point where he can't take shots? Obviously so. Why? Because Derek Chisora, we all know that as old as he is, I believe he's 41 years of age, the strength and the power is the last to go. The punch is the last thing to ever leave you. So he can still punch. Is he a good puncher? Sure, I wouldn't want to get hit with him. Not flush, but at the same time, is this the Joyce that you feel that could take Derek Chisora's shots a couple years ago? Of course. So that means by default, people, you know, by what we knew or what we think we knew versus what we see against Derek Chisora, he's fading. Okay, so his once ability to take these shots are no longer there. You know, could he fight some more? Yeah, he could fight some more. So if he's financially unstable, he probably, unfortunately, would have to keep fighting. I don't think it's in the thought process of necessarily just retiring right now. But does Tony Bellew have an argument? And yeah, he does, because he was already slow. He was already predictable. He was already getting hit a lot. But now that we know that he can't take the shots, you know, I think it'll be either destructive to him and embarrassing to him to take shots like that and to get dropped like that and to appear and look like Luis Ortiz. And by far, Luis Ortiz was a better boxer than Joyce ever will be. But he can't take shots for shit now. Okay, needless to say. But understand this about Joyce, you know, when you start getting dropped by Derek Chisora, which is not known to be a devastating puncher, something's wrong. You know what I mean? Maybe he doesn't have it anymore. But if anything, I think Tony Bellew was trying to encourage him not to belittle him, not to talk negative of him, but to help him to become a better or to stop him from being damaged. You know what I mean? See, those destructive fights, you know, and then they want to put him in there with Moses Atoma and young fucking firecrackers like that. That's not really a good idea for Joe Joyce. And I don't want to see Joe Joyce, if that's going to be the itinerary of someone like Frank Warren, that is like, oh, throw him in there and make him the gatekeeper and put him in there with these guys and let him lose the next 4 or 5 fights. That's only giving him damage, you know, that he may not walk away from or recover from later in life. See, boxing ain't what you think. It ain't about all right now. It's about what happens in the next 10, 15 years to your health. That's what's important that people need to realize. So what Tony Bellew is saying, like, hey, he needs to retire. Maybe he does. But knowing Joe Joyce probably has, ironically, the same spirit or mindset of Derek Chisora. He might not stop until 43, 44 because he just made love the whole idea of combat. But here's the thing. Derek Chisora does have and crack a punch. Joe Joyce, I don't believe, has that type of power. His ability to take shots and give shots are one thing, but if he can't take shots, hell, he ain't going to be able to give shots. He showed it in the Derek Chisora fight. The way that he needed to fight Derek Chisora was take Derek Chisora's best shots and keep coming and thumping. He was not able to do it like we normally seen it, and thus, he needs to retire. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Tony Bellew stating that Joe Joyce needs to retire. Goodbye, Juggernaut. Call it a day. Of course, please subscribe. I'll leave a poll, and you guys been Counterpunch. Peace!